This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. I just murdered Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood squirting out of his neck. I love that guy. He would have been our next president. I am so pissed right now. Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh damn it. Use your freaking words as they're talking to you people. Who shot Charlie Kirk? I'm driving down a Provo right now. I'm so pissed. Damn it.
Shut up. This is the first time, like, I felt like true evil, like a true act of evil, and, like, this man did not deserve this, and I'm glad that he was a God-fearing man. You all know what I'm talking about. I know a lot of people are, like, would love to see us, like, beat down. That's okay. We're coming for you.
How can I feel so much grief for someone that I've never met? It someone that I don't even know. But my heart is hurting so bad right now. My heart is literally just about ready to burst from my chest. Between Irina and Charlie Kirk, I am not okay today. Like, I am not okay today because these people have families. They're so loved. I just saw a video of Charlie Kirk's little girl running up to him saying daddy, and I can't. I don't know if he's gonna make it. I don't know. It looks like they might have severed his artery. Guys, I am not okay. What is wrong with the world? What is wrong with people? Please, please, please pray for Charlie Kirk. Please pray for his family. Please pray that God performs a miracle and that he's able to be okay. Oh my gosh. We need more good in this world. More people who care. I'm literally paralyzed by anxiety right now. Like, I can't even move because I'm so sick about what's gonna happen. So please, pray for Charlie, pray for his family, pray for his kids. Oh my gosh. Maybe throw in a little prayer for me too, that I can be okay, because right now I am not okay.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So somebody requested I make this Charlie Kirk video, and before we get into this video, I don't know much about this man, and I don't know much about American politics. I don't know what to say about American politics. However, there are a lot of reaction on TikTok. There are a lot of discussion, so we'll be going through a lot of reaction and what people are saying. But before I get into this video, I would like to tell you that my humanity is still alive. My conscience is still alive. If I see anybody who is celebrating or saying any kind of inhuman thing in the comment section, I will delete your comment. I have seen a lot of people making a lot of some kind of videos celebrating and saying things I don't like, honestly. I don't know what is happening to humanity, but at the end of the day, a child lost his father, a woman lost her husband, a mother lost her son, and a father lost his son. Guys, this is a human being. I don't know what is happening in America. Neither do I know what is happening in a lot of places in the world. But at the end of the day, we are human. There are videos of this man of blood coming out of his neck, and people are rejoicing. I don't know what is happening. Please don't come here and talk about Gaza. Don't come here and talk about a lot of things. Everything must not be about this or that or that or this. Please, let us raise decent conversation, and also let us listen to what people are saying. There's an important video I want you to watch, because according to somebody, they have created a website where they collect the names of social media handles who are rejoicing over this man's death. So let's get into the reaction. Let's go and see what people are saying. I don't care who you are or where you come from or what is your belief or what is your faith. Please do not rejoice over this man's death on my channel. Don't do that. Don't. I don't know. Carry your belief to somewhere else, not on my channel, please.
Oh my gosh, it was a sacrifice, and I'm going to insert the clip. Now, I don't have any proof, and I'm not saying that this is definitely what happened, but it feels like a sacrifice.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America?
Did you catch that? Seconds before he was unalived, there's a man behind him who pulls on his hat and then tugs on his ear. If you've ever played softball or baseball, you know that that is a signal. That is a signal. Why now? Who benefits from this distraction? Only one person, Donald Trump. The timing is very suspicious. It's clearly looking like a distraction from all the Trump and Epstein related stories and the signature on the check and the child abuse allegations, you guys. Prayers for Charlie's family and kids especially, and prayers for the truth, because this does not feel right to me.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Let's just start there. But this whole situation might have a rabbit hole deeper than everybody knows. Let's start with this. The man that they first arrested allegedly said that he was the person that did it. This guy right here, they take him back to the station, they question him, and they figure out that he's not the person that did it. Okay, they get another suspect, take him to the station, question him, and they find out that he's not the person that did it. And then they say whoever did it had to be maybe a college student. And not saying that a college student couldn't do this, but whoever did this was a professional. One shot, and was confident enough to know that that one shot was the only shot that he needed. That's not the work of a college student. That's the work of a professional. And then they release this picture. Look at this shit. They're saying that they have video footage of this man right here, and they're saying that this man, they believe that this man is the shooter. Does this man look like a college student to you? Mind you, they're saying that they recovered the weapon too. Matter of fact, listen to this shit.
We have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. The FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis.
So they have a palm print, a footprint, and other evidence. Do you think they're gonna find this man? They have footage from every angle in that place. You can find it. All you gotta do is jump in that search bar. You can see how Charlie got hit every single way. You can see how people's reactions were. You can see the man that was in the crowd that was laughing. You can see Charlie's security making moves on the side of him. You can see a lot of things. Mind you, they have footage of somebody climbing up to the roof. They have footage of somebody on the roof. And let's go back to the beginning, right? You had a person that said that he actually did this thing. They arrested him. You seen in the video in the beginning. Why would that man say that? That's something you got to think about. All I can say is this rabbit hole is going to run deep. I'll say this, and I'll leave this here. Something ain't right about this. Tell me what you think.
Am I a conspiracy theorist? Absolutely. And I don't want to believe that Charlie Kirk is a conspiracy. However, I'm already seeing too many things that's making me question everything. Go back and watch the video. We've all seen it. The number one thing that is bugging me out is he had this little black mark right here, just hanging out on his shirt. And all of a sudden, right before the shot, it moves. I thought it was the bullet or something, but it's on his shirt. It literally moves. That's number one. Number two, signaling of the security guard to his back right. Right before it happens, the security guard signals something with his arms. Go back, you can see that too. There's too many things that aren't adding up. One more thing I just thought of. How about the fact that that person on the roof looked very military, very tactical? Like, that was not just a random person hopping on a roof. That was military. The Trump live stream, I was watching that last night and I thought like I was off or something because it didn't seem right. It didn't seem real. But now I'm seeing, like, other people are saying that there's a glitch in the video. Like, what's going on? I don't want to believe this was planned or a way to create civil uprising. And I'm distraught, man. I've been crying and crying ever since this happened. But something feels off.
I want to be very clear. I do not show empathy for someone who asked us to not show empathy for others, who's shown no empathy for others, who in fact was quoted saying that he believed empathy was a new age term, weakening America. He also said that Islam was slitting the throat of Americans. I'm not going to show empathy for that at all. That man has made me afraid to wear my hijab, and I shouldn't be afraid. I shouldn't be nervous. That man has made me afraid being who I am and blamed others for the problems that are happening in America. No, I will not show empathy. I feel sorry for his kids, absolutely. But if you guys thought that video was bad of his death, gosh, I'm so glad they do not release the videos of the school shootings. Thank goodness. That's the real outrage. Assassinations are not new because it happened to someone you liked. Now sit and ask yourself, what are we going to do about gun violence? I am not...
So guys, there have been a lot of speculation on social media. One of it being that the security man who was standing at his back knew what was about to happen and was among the people who orchestrated everything. They say that if you look, there are a lot of videos I'm about to play for you guys. So there are a lot of videos showing him making a lot of hand gesture and signs. And before he was shot, that man did something that looked like a command. Yes. And even before I watched this woman video, there's another video I watched that went in depth about it. And after watching that video, I went back again to watch the main video and zoom it and saw the hand sign. And if you zoom it, if you see the hand sign that security man, immediately that security man make that hand sign, then the next thing you hear is the shot. I feel like that security man should be arrested and questioned. And a lot of people feel like he should be arrested and questioned. A lot of people on social media are saying that it's not just one person that is involved in this shooting, that a lot of people are involved, that it is like a conspiracy, and there are teams of people that planned this, that the security man making hand sign was giving the shooter command. Guys, this is what they are saying. Also, before we go deep into this, I want you to watch this video talking about people who are taking accounts and who are taking note of people reacting to this and what people are saying on social media. So be careful with your comment, be careful with whatever you're saying. I feel like they are collecting data of people who are rejoicing over this man's death.
Breaking news, MAGA has created a new website called Charlie's Murderers, which is a database they are using to collect and harvest anybody's social media presence where people may have said bad things about Charlie Kirk, because in their view, the one person who took Charlie's life isn't the only suspect. Everybody is a suspect, and this is just a way for MAGA and Stephen Miller and Trump's FBI to put more and more of their enemies on a list so they can track people and go after political rivals. This is an extremely dangerous escalation, a major escalation by the right at this moment, by MAGA. The suspect is still at large, so we don't even know what the motive was for the attack. Of course, when we know, then we'll have more evidence, there will be more facts, but right now it's all speculation by far-right extremists on social media and people using this to try and incite more political violence. Please be aware that this website is real, it's being circulated right now, and be very careful about what you post on social media as well, because you don't want to end up on one of MAGA's lists.
You see, that is my point, right? If America have issue of gun violence, why is it that people are rejoicing on social media, using your faces, making videos, putting on TikTok, laughing at someone's death? Don't you feel somebody who is a devoted follower of this person can come after you? Also, there's a video I watched saying that there are some places where establishments have been shut down because it seemed like violence are beginning to erupt in that place, that people are trying to target some people who are against the man. So why are people being confident and okay, making videos, laughing at someone's death, making mockery of a dead man, putting it on social media because you do not believe in his view, or because you think that he's a racist, or because you think that he's against Islam, or because you think that he's against anything? Is risk for your own good. Honestly, I feel like for your own good, you shouldn't put that kind of thing. Since there are a lot of gun violence issues in America, like, you shouldn't use your face to make that kind of video. Please, guys, be careful.
Well then, this response might have made sense if you had, like, say, just read the birthday book and you were raging at the animals in that book. Or it would have made sense if you had just watched the survivors of Schmepstein speak on the Capitol steps and you got on social media and you screamed and railed at the animals who did that to these women, and the animals in Congress right now who refuse to release the files. This response would have made sense if you had gotten on social media right after one of the everyday mass or school pew-pewings and screamed at lawmakers who refuse to take pew-pew reform seriously. And last time I checked, no one was in custody as a suspect, so why are you blaming liberals?
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe. No. What do? I get charity every single year.
Crime, like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because of DEI, it begs the question, when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily. No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian.
Charlie Kirk was murdered in broad daylight, in public, in front of his wife and kids. So this is what I'm going to say. I do not care who cancels me, who unfollows me, who gets mad, since apparently unfollowing somebody is such a big threat that people like to use now. But I couldn't care less, because I will always stand for what's right, even if I'm standing alone. It is not okay, it is not normal, it is not right, and it is not ethical to kill somebody just because you don't agree with them. And he wasn't even in office. He was a speaker. So if you think it's justified for somebody to get killed in cold blood, not out of self-defense, not because they were attacking somebody, not because they were physically harming somebody, if you think it's okay for somebody to get killed because they have a difference in their opinion, then you are a part of the problem. I understand being passionate about your beliefs, but that does not justify killing somebody. And I've seen so many Christians posting about it, some who, were grieving Charlie Kirk, of course, But a lot of them were like, how can you be sitting here grieving him? If you feel bad for Charlie Kirk, then you're XYZ, unfollow me, da 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 da. You cannot be a Christian with hate in your heart. I saw this quote somebody posted earlier, and it was like, you can quote scripture all day, but if you can't love your neighbor who disagrees with you, then you've missed the whole point of the author. And that is so true. I really could not agree more. And I don't like to talk about politics much on here for personal reasons, but I will say this. No matter what side you're on when it comes to politics, whether you're Democrat, Republican, left, right, whatever it is, you should never become tribal. Being tribal in politics means that you're so blindly influenced by one side that you have no room for nuance. So whoever did this, I definitely feel like they were tribal about their side, and that's why they decided to kill him. I know a lot of people have a problem with Charlie Kirk because of headlines y'all have seen and stuff you've seen on social media. But here's the thing about that too, and it drives me nuts. In journalism in college, throughout all my 4 years, something I was taught in all of my courses revolving around journalism is how to make a headline. And we were taught that headlines are meant to be attention grabbers, and that we should always know how to write a good one, and that when we see headlines for ourselves, we should do the research and look into the story for ourselves. And I feel like that's why so many people have an issue with certain politicians and speakers and podcasters, you name it. So many people have a problem with them because of headlines they've seen about these people that aren't even true. And so you develop a hatred in your heart toward these people without researching them for yourself. It's just fine if you end up researching them for yourself and still disagreeing with them. There's nothing wrong with that at all, because another thing I've been taught since, freaking middle school AP English courses, something that was instilled in me was that every good argument acknowledges the counter argument. And that has been so ingrained into my mind from an early age that helps me to see other people's point of views even when I don't agree. I will sit here and listen to speakers and podcasters and politicians that I don't even agree with just so I can understand their points of view.
Guys, I agree with her totally. I agree with everything she said.
We don't serve the same God. You don't serve the same God as me anytime you can get online and celebrate the death of a man who gave his unsolicited opinion just like you do. To fix your mouth and make jokes about this man losing his life, this man was a husband, this man was a father. But to sit up and laugh and make jokes about it when you do exactly the same thing that he does, which is give your unsolicited opinion that nobody asked you for, there's somebody out there that don't like you either. There's somebody out there that don't like your opinions. There's somebody out there who would do the very same thing to you. So to sit up and laugh at somebody who only gave their opinion, regardless of if you agree with it or not, thinking that it's okay for somebody to take that person's life and sit up and laugh about that, you don't serve the same God that I serve. A lot of y'all wonder why y'all life is so messed up and why you have the problems that you have. It's because you ain't got no God in you. You don't serve a higher power, and it shows. A lot of y'all are demonic. You have some evil spirits. I never listened to Charlie Kirk like that. I would see his stuff come across my timeline every now and then with his controversial takes, but I've never seen anything that he's personally done to justify somebody doing this to him. There's nothing to justify doing this to this man, regardless if you agree with his opinion or not. My prayers go out to his family. This is just a messed up situation, but it goes to show you just how far people will go when they don't like what you're saying.
Watch the Charlie Kirk video. Earlier, I was telling people not to watch the video because it was too gruesome. But you know what? Watch it. Maybe we need to watch that video. Hell, I'll even send it to you. Because you know what? We're too fucking sensitive. And all too often, we don't watch the video. And then what happens? It all falls to the background. We don't talk about it anymore. Watch the video. My whole thought process tonight has changed on this. I've been sitting here thinking about this all night long. I am pissed off. This is a person who is so deeply grounded in their faith, not my faith, by the way, their faith. And I celebrate the fact that they were able to stand their ground on their faith and talk about it freely until today, until he couldn't talk about it anymore. He could talk about all of his opinions freely, but he can't do that no more. So you leave this video and go find his and watch it.
Yeah, lots of parents
are childless because of the gun laws he was pushing for. I don't give a fuck.
I don't want to say what I actually want to say about Charlie Kirk because I don't want to get banned off this app if I say how I really feel. So I'm going to speak black.
To explain this for me, this is the video of Charlie Kirk getting shot. You see he's got like a microphone or something attached to him. Also, while he's holding a microphone, and I'm going to go frame by frame, and someone needs to explain what this black dot is for me. Okay, so let's go slow. We watch this black dot move closer and closer to his neck, ultimately stopping right there. We're going to go back and forth for a minute. And it stays there before he was shot. It's clipped there to his shirt. But why would that be a microphone if he's holding a microphone? And then why does the dot move from his shirt directly to his neck and stop at his neck? It doesn't fly off his shirt. It just stops right at his neck.
I find it so ironic that Charlie Kirk was shot at an all-white event. Because if it was a lot of black people in the crowd, it would have never happened. Because their security measures would have been top tier. They would have never allowed nobody in there with a weapon. See, but when it comes to all-white events, they're so lenient on those security measurements because they act like white people are not violent. This is the result you get when you go on tours rage baiting. You just run around the world rage baiting people in real time. When you're supposed to be some kind of political figure, some kind of public figure, and you run around rage baiting, you say racist things, you act like you're untouchable, and then this happens to you. This is what people are going to mostly remember about you. You be creating these looks and these ideas about who people are, and you want to speak about gangs and mass shootings and all that, and one of your own people did it to you. Because you have something to say about anybody because you're doing it for the views. This is what happens when you rage bait in real time. He will talk bad about anybody. He'll put anybody down. He wanted to be so in the club. He wanted to fit in so bad. He wanted that white power so bad. He really wanted to be promoted to that white power. Yeah. And that's who took him out. That's so crazy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Kirk unfortunately was unalive today. This man had spent his whole political career speaking about black people on having low IQ, blaming the crime epidemic in the United States on blacks, describing black people as savages, unconditioned and unruled individuals that needed more discipline and order. It's kind of ironic when you stop and think about it. He was given a speech at UVU, Utah, in a small town, in a small city that's predominantly white, with a function of predominantly white members that was attending his speech. And he was unalived by a white suspect. If only Charlie Kirk would have spent more time worrying about white-on-white crime.
Charlie Kirk assassination was orchestrated on the highest level. I hear a lot of people on TikTok and on social media talking about the bullet came from a high building 200 yards away from a high-powered rifle. You guys do know the high building wasn't the only thing that the person was on when they pulled the trigger. It was also orchestrated on the highest level. The person who pulled the trigger was not a regular person like you and me. The person who pulled the trigger was highly skilled, highly trained. This was already planned. Charlie Kirk's birthday is September 14th. Today is September 11th. 3 days before his birthday, 1 day before 9/11. That means one down, two more to go. Who the next two is, we don't know. This one's for the Christians, If you're not a Christian, we love you, but this one's not for you. So Charlie Kirk has been murdered, and there's been a lot of discourse over the last day about it. And one thing that I want to add to the conversation as a Christian, as a therapist, is that we can hold multiple truths at one time. Let's take it from the top. Him being murdered was wrong. Anyone being murdered is wrong. We can hold that. Having compassion for a person's wife and their child because they were murdered is there. We can experience that. We can live that out. We can pray for them. Even reflecting on our own experience, what if it were me? We can live that out. And at the same time, we can hold the truth that a person communicated what is perceived as violent and extremely harmful speech and rhetoric towards populations of people. That some of the things as a black man that Charlie Kirk has said makes me less safe, makes my family less safe, makes people that I care about less safe. And so, me personally, I have found that in this entire moment that I am neither hot nor cold, that I am numb and trying to figure out, how do I wade through these waters? And so how do I wade through them? I take it back to God. I take it back to God because he calls me to have compassion, but it's hard to have compassion. It's hard to be compassionate towards a person, an enemy that I have perceived is actively working against me.
You mother animals!
Hey sis, so you seem really emotional right now. And I personally think that it is worth it to have the cost of, unfortunately, a few pew unalivings every single year so that we could all enjoy the Second Amendment. Do you think that sounds harsh? It does, because that's a Charlie Kirk quote. So maybe he took one for the team. You thinking that the left are animals and violent, and then now you suddenly want empathy for Charlie Kirk? Please.
A young man who's never hurted anyone.
I mean, I wonder what could have inspired someone to do something like this. Could it have been his bigotry against the LGBTQ community? His racism? Oh no, his constant stream of harmful, misleading trash and anti-woman nonsense. And as for empathy, didn't he also say that he thinks empathy is the new age term that does a lot of damage? I don't condone violence of any kind, but Charlie did, and he made that clear that he was okay with it. And I sure as hell don't have empathy for someone who openly admits that he doesn't have empathy for anyone else, and I'm pretty okay with that. Now, as for you, did you have the same outrage and anger on January 6th? Or when the vast majority of mass unalivers are cis straight men? Or when Republican extremist pew churches, schools, and Walmarts? Didn't think so. Where was your outrage then? Oh, that's right. You people are only upset when it affects you personally. Hypocrisy looks good on you, sis. Thoughts and prayers.
You motherfuckers want a war? You fucking got it now, motherfuckers!
Wow. Well, all right then. Let me ask you guys a question. How many takes do you think it took that gentleman to make that video, to perfect that anger? But anyway, this is why I'm talking about the things I'm talking about in reference to Charlie Kirk. You know, it's unfortunate what happened to him, but automatically you want to blame the left. And then by blaming the left, you get yourself so worked up, you sat in a car, hit that record button and said, "You want a war? It's a war you're gonna get, motherfuckers." It's like, you sound like Hulk Hogan. Like, this ain't the fucking WWE. Like, relax. Charlie is no longer with us. Let that man's family deal with it however they deal with it. The shit that you're talking about is fucking stupid.
First, they try and assassinate Trump twice. Then Luigi takes out the United Healthcare CEO. Then a man takes out the Blackstone CEO. 2 Democrat lawmakers and their dog were pew-pewed in their home. And now Charlie Kirk. What does the media do? The media turns this into left versus right. Republicans are going to say, wow, crazy Democrats did this. Democrats are going to say Republicans caused this with their rhetoric. Which I agree with to an extent, right? I believe in 2016, the second Trump got on stage and started insulting people, He took all mutual respect between the left and the right out of the political game. The left had to stoop down to Trump's level. And everyone started using very inflammatory language because Trump's the one who brought it into the political sphere. But I don't believe that inflammatory language from either side is what's causing these deaths. The inflammatory language on either side of the political spectrum does not get people so riled up they kill somebody. I hear Democrats say stupid stuff sometimes, and I hear Republicans say really stupid stuff too. And I sit there and I'm like, damn. But you know what makes people kill someone? When they can't afford groceries, when they can't afford rent, when the chance of them owning a home is near zero.
Charlie Kirk has kids. Charlie Kirk has a wife. So do immigrants. What the fuck are we talking about here? So do black Americans. So do the soldiers that get on this front line every fucking day and fights for this piece of shit we call a country. Like, what the heck? Like, there's no way, y'all. This is that two-faced American shit I don't really partake in. This is what they talking about. This is what we talking about. This is why black people not on the line now, because y'all not finna fucking trick us again. Y'all not finna get us again. Y'all do this every time. Y'all switch up in the drop of a fucking hat. Like, cuz, y'all finna piss me off. This shit getting real irritating now. Like, real irritating. It was just kiki kaka when Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, all of them, it was hee-hee-ha. It was, let me counteract, let me make an excuse, let me feel important, let me try to be oppressed. When Black Lives Matter rolled out, oh, now all of a sudden white lives matter, all lives matter. Duh, fuck nigga. He was a...
The hypocrisy of eulogizing and idolizing Charlie Kirk as a political martyr and political hero is staggering. The depth of gaslighting, untruths, the shameful opportunistic politicization of his assassination is a clear attempt to rewrite his history now. Now, we know exactly who Charlie Kirk was, and there's no way on God's earth we're going to let you tell us what he was not. Charlie Kirk's legacy is a legacy of hate. He was a racist, white nationalist, white supremacist, anti-Muslim, Islamophobic, transphobic, Zionist bigot. And whatever my view of him is, doesn't change the fact that I find his assassination absolutely wrong. You know, multiple truths can coexist. First off, these hypocrites, his supporters, are manufacturing a crisis of war and using him as their symbol to go fight. Fight what exactly? Let me just say with my full chest that I am glad that it's not a black or immigrant that killed Charlie Kirk. Because you know it is a white person that killed him. You know that, right? If it had been a black or immigrant, that information would have leaked out a long time ago. And this whole apparatus of hate would have been targeted against the people who Charlie Kirk has spent his entire existence targeting. Let not the irony be lost on you that the same Charlie Kirk that pathologized black people as criminals and went on and on about black on black crime is now the face and symbol of white on white crime, which we all know is far worse than black on black crime.
Also, if it helps MAGA understand why there is no remorse for me, I am a scientist in the Boston area. I studied biology and I've worked in this field for my entire career. I've been a part of making at least like 5 or 6 different pharmaceutical drugs. I'm really good at my job and I have the title of a scientist. If I were to go to one of Charlie Kirk's debates and I were to tell him all of that, this man would still spew some bullshit that I was probably part of a DEI hire program because I'm black and gay. Despite everything, this man would still spout some bullshit that I was probably only hired to fit a quota. Similarly, if I were to be in the news because a police officer shot me, I'm a pacifist. I wouldn't hurt a goddamn fly. This man would go on his little fucking podcast and spout some bullshit about how I was probably the aggressor. I was probably a criminal, probably on drugs or something. I was the one who did something wrong. No matter what, just because I'm the black person in that fucking situation, the police officer could never do something fucking wrong. That man would have no remorse if he saw me dead on the fucking street. But I'm supposed to have remorse for that evil motherfucker? No.
The most important sentence Charlie Kirk ever said to me was, "God loves you. You're a part of this movement, and we've got your back." Speaking at an event with Charlie Kirk at a TPUSA event at Ohio State in 2019, we were accosted by a lot of people in the audience that didn't like the fact that I was gay and did not like the fact that Charlie Kirk gave a gay man a platform, a national public platform that he gave me my entire career in public life to Charlie Kirk. And these are the words that he said to me, because he was not only a great man, but he was one that actively worked to be a good man. So as there's so much hatred and so much vitriol being spewed out by people who didn't know the human being that Charlie Kirk was, they know an avatar, they know that some talking head or something that popped up in their phone that said things that they didn't like. He was a human being. He was a great man, but also a good man. He was also a husband, a father, somebody who made countless careers and who has inspired tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people through creating Turning Point USA, through mentoring, through groundwork, through the campus events, through all of these different things. He was a great man. He was a good man. He was also a human being. Now, that's not going to stop the denizens of the internet from spewing hatred towards Charlie Kirk and towards anybody that supported him and towards other people that have public platforms that have openly conservative beliefs.
You didn't agree with his politics. No, I didn't agree with his racism. I mean, another thing that this Charlie Kirk situation has shown me is just how easily, how casually people accept racism to be a right-wing talking point. And if the right were smart, or if the right cared, or if they were, had the amount of sympathy and empathy they're asking people to have in this moment, they will look within themselves and say, oh, why is that? Why is that the talking point of prominent people in our party? Look at Charlie Kirk's highlight reels. Look at the things he said about civil rights. Look at things he said about black people as a whole. Look at things he said about Dr. Martin Luther King, the ones that you're going to post later on to use as a symbolism, right, of why we need to be united in this country once a year. And look at that and say, hey, is it possible that people in this country take that as a threat? Because at its core, racism is accompanied by violence. It's interesting to me how the rest of America does not understand how black people in America and worldwide see racism as intertwined with violence. When someone says something racist, okay, I correlate that with the possibility that violence can accompany that. But racism has become so casual as a talking point, as a political talking point. People think they can say and talk about it without consequences. That is insane to me. That is maddening.
So we all know what happened yesterday, and I have gotten asked to talk about it a couple of times now. I don't know what to say. I truly do feel horrible for his family and anybody who was there and had to witness that happening. But at the same time, I can't really bring myself to feel any sympathy for that man. I will say that seeing that video made me cry. It was, I'm just very sensitive to anything revolving around gore. But I feel like a lot of people are forgetting the evil that this man has done and the fact of the matter that this could have been avoided. To sit in front of people and say that abortion is worse than the Holocaust, to say that your 10-year-old would have to carry a baby because you would not support abortion is just fucking wild. And there's a lot more fucked up shit that that man has said and done that I'm not going to get into, but regardless, I can't feel any sympathy for that. I think people are forgetting that what you say and do, it has consequences behind it. There's literally nothing more to say other than that. I did make a video a while ago talking about him because he said something, I think it was that he said that like consent was a gray area. Just another one of the very wild, fucked up things that that man has said.
I think one of the most insidious uses of Charlie Kirk's death is that many people on the left are using it to promote gun control. Not even 24 hours after his death, they're talking about, this is why we need gun control. I'm like, he was on a college campus. Guns are illegal on college campuses. And the obvious fact is that the shooter did not care about that. For the life of me, I cannot fathom why in this world you would not want a gun and you would want to disarm yourself. Criminals don't follow the law anyways. Why would they give up their gun? Why would they want to follow gun control? It's like, there's no intellectual debate. You mean to tell me that if a criminal had a gun and wished ill intent on you, you would just not want a gun? I don't get it. There's nothing intellectual about this. It's just dumb. It should be obvious at this point that guns don't kill people. People kill people. If you sit a gun on a table and don't touch it at all, it's not going to go off. It's obvious. Good guys with the gun are much better than bad guys with the gun. And if you don't need to use it, then you don't need to use it. But if you're in a situation where you do need to use it, I bet you would be pretty happy to have it. That's the end of the gun control debate. Sheer stupidity versus common sense. That's all there is.
7 HBCUs had to close their doors today and lock down after violent threats following the Charlie Kirk assassination. Despite the fact that the suspect looked like this. So many people correctly theorized that this would lead to escalating political violence, and unfortunately, as per usual, Black and brown people are forced to bear the brunt of that. Hampton University, Virginia State University, Alabama University, and Bethune-Cookman University all received direct threats. Additionally, Spelman College, Southern University, and Clark Atlanta University issued shelter-in-place or lockdown orders just as a precaution. These are threats of terrorism, by the way. We don't have a motive. We don't even have the shooter yet. We have a suspect who's not even Black, but we don't even have the shooter yet. But none of that matters because this was always going to be used as an opportunity to scapegoat Black people. Because that's what white supremacism does, and Charlie Kirk was a white supremacist. This is not the first time, nor is it the last time that HBCUs will receive racially motivated threats. But this is the level of hate, of racial incitement that comes with violent platforms like Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk's shooter was 200 yards away and he fired only one shot. And you want me to believe he's a liberal? By the way, money is still the most common motive for premeditated murder. So follow the money. Check out who's gonna take over the millions of subscribers of Charlie Kirk.
So this user really said this.
Message to the President of the United States. I'm not going to say that I speak for everybody else or anybody else. But as a taxpaying citizen of this country who has spent years being attacked by the vile left, we want true justice. So give us the green light or handle it yourself with the military. Each and every one of them. All of them. We want public executions.
And that video of hers has over 700,000 views with a lot of comments agreeing. And as I was scrolling through the comments, she actually had the audacity to try to gaslight people. And you can pause and read this, and then you can see her response here, where she says she's not suggesting that, but she actually did because she said all of them. And I genuinely had a bad feeling yesterday that this is probably what it's come up to. And the dangerous part about this is that they're being very reactive and assuming of things without actually looking into the facts of the situation, because they haven't even arrested anybody yet. There's one suspect right now that they're following, but we don't even know what this person's background is. And I'm posting this because that's what a lot of them are feeling right now. Be careful out there.
So something I didn't realize about the Charlie Kirk shooting is he was only about 2 questions into the event when he was shot. Witnesses that were there said that he was setting everything up, he was handing out hats, and then he sat down, and by the second question asked is when he was shot. So only about 20 minutes into the event, and the shooting happened around 12:10 p.m. local time. Now, I couldn't find anything verifying how long the event was supposed to last, but those type of things usually last around an hour, but can go off schedule because of the debates. And this is what was said. An audience member asked, "Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years? To which Charlie Kirk responded, "Too many." Then another audience member asked, "Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Kirk responded, "Counting or not counting gang violence." And immediately after that is when the shot happened. Now, does this matter when it happened? I don't know. It was just a little bit surprising that it was so early into the event. Now, obviously, a lot of people have been questioning, was this intentional that the shot was fired when Charlie was talking about gun violence? And nobody can know that for sure except one person, the shooter. But here's my personal opinion. No, I don't think it was intentional that the shot was fired exactly then. This is something that he talked about often, so it's not that coincidental that it happened when he was talking about it. But my main belief for this not being intentional timing is that where the shooter was on the roof, I don't believe he would have been able to hear what Charlie was saying. Do I think that this was the shooter's overall intention and message? Yes, I do, but I don't think that the timing was intentional. Just coincidental, but what do you guys think?
I'm going to firmly grasp your hand when I say this. Listen close. Don't get in your emotions about that man getting, a lot of these things that you see are not real. A lot of these things that you see is from the deceiver. They know how to play on your emotions, especially when it's around particular times. of the season, right? They know the stars, they know the moon, they know how things move in the universe and how it affects you. Most people don't know that the stars and the moon and all that is in conjunction with your organs and how it operates through your body, right? And what effects it has on you, right? Charlie Kirk got, you know what I'm saying? The first thing you're going to ask yourself is, why would TikTok allow you to see that video? If TikTok just posted new guidelines about not allowing this, allowing that, allowing this, allowing that, why are they still allowing videos like that to get through where you are actively seeing somebody get knocked off? That's one. Two, always remember, anybody that's in a political position like that, most of them are clones. Most of them are clones or has clones. You might have a clone. This is why it's very important for you to stop letting them people prick your child's foot when you're at the hospital. It's a simple formula for grafting. That's another conversation for another day. Number 3, the deceiver will deceive you. It's a way to get the herd moving. It's a way to usher in something new. We got to get the sheep moving. This will move them. This will get them emotional. You see, it's 9/11. It's the anniversary. I don't know what it is. I don't know if the moon, is there a new moon? Is there a full moon? I don't know. But they know what they're doing in order to get y'all moving, to get you talking. It was just 9/9/25. 25 is really 9, right? It was just 9/9/9 the other day, right? And now it's 9/11/9 today. It's all planned, y'all. Don't feed into it. Don't give them the loosh. Don't give them the emotion. They feeding off of you. What a young boy say? He said, I just cried on my life. Why are you crying over somebody you don't know? Why are you crying over somebody who's possibly a clone? Why are you crying over somebody that did not bear you any fruit? Y'all sit around all day having debates about whether the left is right or the right is right. You need to understand that God is right and God is within you. So you need to seek that. And to add, some people can say, well, he has a family. So did Fontaine. Fontaine had a family. His younger brother, remember they cloned Tyrone movie in the beginning and back in the day, Fontaine had a younger brother. When he cloned his body, he still imprinted that subconscious in the new body. That's why they say they could kill you, but they can't kill your spirit. Your spirit is transferable. I have to keep in mind, a lot of these people who are in these positions are all cousins. They're all mostly likely related. Everything is pre-planned. The world is a stage. This is why I say you have to learn the acts. The world is a stage. You need to learn the acts. Learn that all cap name is your character name. So if you're going to be playing that character, you need to learn the act and understand where we are at. Condolences to him. Condolences to the family. But we got to keep it going. We got to keep it moving, right? You know, they trying to distract us from what we supposed to be doing. We getting closer and closer to freedom, ladies and gentlemen. But we going to stop paying these bills. We're going to get out of these jobs. The revolution is happening. The revolution is happening. Don't let them folks distract you from it.
Charlie Kirk, the MAGA influencer who would go to college campuses and debate college freshman girls on hot political topics, has died at the age of 31 today. He was taken out by a sniper at one of his events in Utah, of all places. Utah. Now are MAGA and the Republicans going to do something about the mass shooting problem in the United States? And MAGA and Republicans seem to say it's a mental health problem. That's great. If it's a mental health problem, it's not. It's the guns. But if it is a mental health problem, what have you done, Republicans and MAGAs, to fix the mental health problem? You've taken money away, millions and hundreds of millions of dollars from mental health resources and projects. You've taken money away. That's not fixing the problem. So if you say it's a mental health problem over and over and over again throughout the years, what have you done to fix the mental health problem? Absolutely fucking nothing. It's the fucking guns. I will give my thoughts and prayers to Charlie Kirk. I will say this. He did have little kids, and no matter what you think of Charlie Kirk, no child should grow up without their father.
Charlie Kirk did not lose his life because of a difference of opinion. He lost his life because of a gun. His death certificate is not going to say difference of opinion. And y'all can stop trying to gaslight people by saying if you're anti-gun violence, then you should be anti-gun violence all the time. We are. We never said that we were okay with gun violence. What we said was he died for what he was advocating for. And if he had advocated for stricter gun laws, he might still be here right now. Now, is there a high likelihood that the person behind the gun had a difference of opinion than him? Sure.
But I'm going to keep reminding y'all that he said that that was a risk he was willing to take.
You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it.
Or did he mean that he only thought it was worth it if it didn't impact him and his family? Because many of us know people who don't have parents because of gunshots. Shit hit different when it's close to home, don't it? And y'all want people to feel empathy for him, but he didn't feel any empathy for the families who lost their children due to mass shootings at schools. He thought that they were a casualty of war and that it was worth it. And no, I don't feel bad for his wife, because you married someone who thought it was okay for people to die so that everyone else could have guns. You married him. Listen, y'all ain't fooling nobody by trying to change the narrative.
Unfortunately, in my city, I saw a lot of black men that I went to high school with trying to mourn and grieve the death of Charlie Kirk and saying, like, if you're over here celebrating his death, or if you don't care about his death, you can go ahead and block me, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's read some quotes straight out of Charlie's fucking mouth. We're going to start off with quote number 1 that you probably have already heard, but I think it's very important to say. He said, I think it's worth to have the cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year in order to protect our Second Amendment right. Yeah, and that's what happened. Now let's go to the racist shit. He said when blacks, and yes, he's talking about your black ass too, sir. When blacks in America did not have the same rights that they have today, they were less murderous and there were less break-ins. Why is that? Why is that? He also said, I'm sorry, but if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, is he even qualified? But wait, there's more. This is how he feels about Juneteenth. A certain skin color gets their own summertime celebration. Like, oh wow, look how far the blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day. Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder. This next quote is him literally talking face to face to a 10-year-old little black boy. The Civil Rights Act was a mistake. Yeah, he said that. To a child. A black child. But let's keep going. Blacks were better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes. And lastly, this is my favorite quote by him. Empathy is a made-up, new age term that does a lot of damage. Yeah. I don't know why you guys want to empathize with this man who hated your guts so fucking badly, but it's blowing my mind, especially when you guys are dead quiet on all the shit that is going on around the world, from genocide to fucking the man in office and people getting literally split up from their families. Y'all are dead silent, but you guys want us to grieve over this fucking racist ass fucking man. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And no matter how close you guys try to be to whiteness, you will never be that. He viewed you as the blacks. He viewed you as the blacks. No matter how you put it, he viewed you as the blacks.
So when a black person die, here come all these white people saying we deserve it. Oh, he was a thug. Good. Oh, he didn't. They literally said George Floyd didn't get killed by the cops. He was on drugs. Nobody has sympathy. Nobody has empathy for black people when they die. But I'm supposed to have empathy for a racist motherfucker who literally said that we shouldn't be celebrating Juneteenth. It's not a national holiday. I'm supposed to have empathy for a motherfucker who didn't even believe in empathy. Let that shit sink in. Y'all want to get on here and talk about he had kids. So did the people of Palestine, but he didn't give a fuck about them. It's always we should be having empathy for something that happens to your people. But when it happens to us, y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all don't give a fuck. When something happened to us, y'all say we deserve that shit. But when something happened to y'all, all of a sudden we should be having sympathy. We should be having empathy. We shouldn't be celebrating death, yada, 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 yada. Wasn't nobody saying that shit when Kevin Samuels died? Everybody on the internet was celebrating Kevin Samuels' death. Nobody gave a fuck. And now people getting on this bitch. I'm not, mind you, I'm not saying that we should be celebrating anybody's death. Like, death ain't funny. You know, it's we all gonna die, you know? But the thing is, don't sit up here and expect me to have empathy for a motherfucker who literally said that empathy is a weakness. Like, come on.
You don't find it suspicious that Charlie Kirk's murder was seen by everyone? You don't find it suspicious that we in America do not show murders, televised or on social media especially? It's always blurred out. It's always censored. Why have all of us seen it, is my question. You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? Because to me, I think that doesn't make much sense. We see people get shot in the arm, we'll see people get shot in the finger, in the ear like Trump was, but not an actual murder. Why did we all see the murder? I think that they did that on purpose. They allowed it to be shared. They didn't give anyone infractions or community guidelines for sharing it because they want you to see it so that you are moved, no matter what side you're on, to fight for justice and consider him a martyr because he's a dad at the end of the day. But I guess people just don't think with their noggin.
I hope when this is all over, you remember who fired first.
Republicans.
You've tried to kill the president twice.
Republican.
And now you've assassinated man for talking.
I don't know who that is.
You don't really want to do this, okay? 400 million plus firearms in this country. They don't belong to the left, bro.
You see, I'm confused by this video because you said you tried to kill the president twice. Who shot first? Well, that was a Republican. But then you're going on and mentioning Charlie Kirk and insinuating that that's a Democrat when we don't know who that is. And then you go on to say that liberals don't have guns. So we don't have guns, but we shot everybody. But it was Republicans that tried to shoot Trump. I'm really starting to think y'all don't put a lot of thought in these videos before you make them.
What happened to this man was a direct consequence to the actions he took and the rhetoric, the hateful rhetoric that he spread in his lifetime. What happened to him was inevitable. I have to be careful about how I word this. The last time I posted a video just alluding to this conversation, it got pushed out to 0.03% of my followers. But yeah, this was inevitable. You cannot go around living your life as a hate-mongering white supremacist and not expect somebody to take some sort of action. Because let's not water it down. This man was a racist, misogynistic, transphobic, homophobic white supremacist who wanted people of color, women, queer people, trans people to suffer or not exist at all. And how dare anybody tell us that we are in the wrong for not being upset and not showing empathy for what happened to this man. You are not morally in the wrong for not being upset by what happened to him. Let me make that very clear. Because quite honestly, the way I see some of y'all responding to this, if you were around when the mustache man took one to the skull, I think you would have been like, oh, gone too soon. This man was a white supremacist Yahtzee sympathizer. I'm not going to say whether or not I think you should celebrate. I think that's on you. Being very careful about how I word this. Do not tell me to feel sorry that this happened. Do not tell me to mourn this man. This man wanted people like me to cease to exist. And in the meantime, don't stop talking about the Epstein files. Don't stop talking about Nepal. And turn your attention towards those kids in Colorado.
What the hell was some of y'all thinking when you posted some of the videos you put up yesterday? Some of y'all make under 30K a year and live in a small town. It's one thing for rich motherfuckers to get on here and say some of the evil shit that was being said about Mr. Kirk. Like, if you don't like the man, that's one thing. But to hit record talking about how much you're happy that happened and how more stuff like that needs to happen, and you work in the school system. Oh, some people woke up today without a job. And these same motherfuckers got on this app today talking about, I seriously got fired just for posting my opinion. Sounds like your First Amendment right was taken. Ain't that just a bitch?
But his daughter and his wife. Okay, his wife chose as an adult to marry a man, and women are completely capable and responsible human beings, and she chose to marry him. No sympathy for her. He would have made his child at the age of 10, if she were to happen to get pregnant through rape, he would have made her give birth. I think she might be a little better off without him, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen far too many people shed actual tears over Charlie Kirk's death than shed tears over Palestinians who have been slaughtered on repeat over and over. Also, by the way, this is what Netanyahu had to say about Charlie Kirk's death. Charlie Kirk was murdered for speaking the truth and defending freedom. A lion-hearted friend of Israel, he fought the lies and stood tall for Judeo-Christian civilization. I spoke to him only weeks ago and invited him to Israel. Sadly, that visit will not take place. We lost an incredible human being. His boundless pride in America and his valiant belief in free speech will leave a lasting impact. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Understanding the weight of such an endorsement from Netanyahu makes it really hard for me to look at revolutionaries who feel sad about this situation and take them seriously. Because are you serious about revolution? I don't think so. The second something starts, you run.
Guys, I don't get it. I don't understand. Charlie Kirk. The man was loved by so many. 2 young kids he leaves. He leaves his wife. He loved them more than anything in the world. To be honest with you, I'm not saying that he was as good or as motivational, but he reminded me of the same stuff that Dr. Martin Luther King was trying to do years ago. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. He just had his own opinions, and he actually got a lot of youth involved in finally, voting and speaking out and actually getting comfortable to come and debate him and actually get educated on a lot of things. Some of them still took away, left the situation believing how they believe. But Charlie still stood up for what he believed in. Everybody has differences in opinions. We are all born differently. But that just means that we just unalive them, and then everybody looks to law enforcement like we should automatically, what are y'all? Don't get me wrong. After what happened to Donald Trump, whenever he was going through his rallies and stuff, and he was, pew-pewed at, don't get me wrong. I believe that anybody that is doing dangerous work like that, because when you start spreading facts and truth about stuff, people are going to, especially the left people, they're going to get all in an uproar. And they need to be behind bulletproof glass. They don't need to be. It's just like when the presidents used to be pew-pewed back in the day. They said, well, we're not necessarily going to ride the presidents around in open-top Cadillacs no more. Well, it needs to be the same thing with people that are doing what Charlie Kirk was doing. A president doing a rally. They need to be protected in some type of something with a microphone. I mean, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Charlie Kirk, that was absolute bullshit and did not need to happen. Y'all have a blessed day.
Oh my god, you guys should be way more upset and sad that this racist guy just got assassinated. I cannot sit here while this is the sentiment that people are starting to run with. I'm a very spiritual person. It is one of my values that I don't want violence to be happening against anybody. But the people who are expressing this sentiment of like, this is not funny and nobody should die. Where are y'all when anyone but a white dude, a white Republican dude, gets murdered? Because it's happening right now to tens and hundreds of thousands of people and children. People are laughing at the irony of this situation. Bro basically said, yeah, people are gonna die of gun violence sometimes, but you know what? That's okay because we have to protect the Second Amendment, guys. The irony is comedic. It is the prime example of somebody getting a taste of their own medicine. If you vote for these things to happen to other people and you're thinking, oh, that could never be me, like I could never be affected by this, it's gonna be kind of funny when you actually are affected by it. But what, we aren't allowed to laugh a little bit while our tax dollars fund a genocide, while innocent families are ripped apart, while literal racial profiling is being legalized? Starting to feel like it's not us who are the snowflakes.
Mama, don't watch this video because I'm finna talk some shit. Alright, if you still here, you done stayed too long because I told you not to watch it. But all up and down my timeline is interviews, videos, pictures, posts about this Charlie man. Who was he? Had to do some research. Didn't really know. That's besides the point. However, what I'm saying is, it is truly disheartening at the divide that this is causing. Y'all, because if you a follower of his or if you a fan of his, y'all are the main reason why we living in our last days. Because this don't make no sense. Like, you can't, look at me. You see what color I am? I'm gonna be this to the day I die. And let me tell you what we not doing. I'm gonna put us all in the collective. We ain't worried about y'all. Just stop. Like, take the time out and just stop. Like, focus on yourself. Focus on being the best you that you can be. Like, this is straight tomfoolery. Like, my mind is literally blown. And then I trust to log on to Facebook. Oh, my dear Jesus Christ. Them folks have pissed me off to the level of pisstivity that I didn't even know I had for an issue that I don't give a damn about. This is mind-blowing. Everybody should be ashamed of themselves. If you laughing at this man's death, you should be ashamed of yourself. Now, if you saying that you take his side with all the stuff that he said, you should also be ashamed of yourself. Now, everybody want to be a political activist and all that shit. Y'all don't know nothing about nothing. Because if you did, you would be on the cabinet somewhere. Golly.
Go ahead and unfollow me like yesterday, if you have to. if you are one of the individuals that is celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Peace out, and then go find yourself an altar, because then you need to drop to your knees because you have a heart issue. And that is what is wrong with the world. There is a serious heart issue that people are celebrating the death of a man, a father, and a husband of a 30-year-old woman who is just sharing his belief in a tent to college students. I don't care if his belief was different than yours. He did not deserve to die. And people that are cheering that on, you're vile. You are vile.
The past 24 hours of news have actually been the most insane thing I've seen, because obviously you have the Charlie Kirk thing, but then you also have the incident at the high school in Colorado, but then also there was a person at a motel who was literally beheaded, and all three of those events were back to back to back, which is just like fucking insane. And the thing is, each event just kept interrupting the other one. Like, obviously I saw the Charlie Kirk thing first yesterday afternoon, but then like an hour later, you know, I saw what's happening in Colorado at that high school. And then this morning, while there's still coverage on both of those things, there are reports that a man was beheaded in a motel in Texas. Like, it's actually insane. And you know, I hope more things don't happen, but like, would I be surprised if I get another news notification of some just like horrific thing happening? Probably not. And look, I know there's a ton of political tension. There's just unrest amongst people. I understand that. But I feel like at a certain point, we all gotta step back and just be like, hey, this isn't the solution of what we're doing right now. Because with how we've been trending as a society with like so much hate and just like disgust and just like people looking at each other as if they're not human, like I feel like we need to step back and look at that in order to make some change.
See, that's what happens when you speak your mind. You get silenced. Charlie Kirk is now a martyr. He's a martyr. He stood for Christ. He stood for biblical and traditional values. I didn't agree with everything he said. And I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. Everyone relax. I know politics is a matrix cog. It's a part of the matrix system to keep people divided. And that's exactly what they want. They want you to fight against the other side. I understand the Charlie Kirk situation is not a race issue, but I need you to look at something Lyndon B. Johnson said. He said, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Heck, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. See? It's us, regular folks, against the Luciferian, Freemason, evil control cabal system. That's what it's about. Okay, and now they want you to fight against the other. After Kirk, now they want you to fight against the other side. They want you to hate the other person. Okay? We're not going to do that. Stop falling for that. This is a whole... This seems like a government thing. This seems like the government took him out. Okay? He may have said something wrong. He may have went too far. Whatever, in their opinion, and they took him out. Do not fall for this. That dude, he was a young guy. And he was just speaking his mind, and he got taken out. And some people are happy about it. They're like, yeah, you know, he deserved it. Bro, like, for the Christians out there, are you willing to be martyred for Christ? Are you willing to die for Christ? You realize the disciples all died for Christ, minus John, but John got boiled alive. Are you willing to stand in front of a firing squad, speak the truth, and get deleted for Christ? Deleted for the truth. Yes or no? Yes or no? Your enemy is the devil. It's not the Democrats. It's not the Republicans. Okay? It's the devil. And all the people who are in league with the devil, the Luciferians. Okay? It's Christ versus Satan. That's what this whole thing is about. All right? And once we realize that we're being deceived, we can see through this political thing, through the matrix.
Good night, Charlie Kirk. Forever. Some people have been whining and running their mouths, stating that no matter how we felt about him, we need to take death more seriously. First of all, my humor is way too dark for that, but sorrows, prayers to his children and his children only. Little Miss We Don't Need Gun Control was shot by a bullet that was 200 yards away from him. While still defending mass shootings that took the lives of children, the jokes just write themselves. From his own mouth, he deems it necessary to have a few gun deaths every single year. This is a man that celebrated the overturn of Roe v. Wade, and even doubled down by declaring that if his own daughter became impregnated by rape, she would keep the baby. He also mocked the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and stated that when it came to slavery against black Americans, that there was more to the story. Furthermore, he referred to George Floyd as a scumbag while advocating for the police officer that took his life. And finally, he gave his opinion on the LGBTQ community, stating that it was a cult and that we need to be put to death while using a Bible verse. This is the type of man that heathens wanted for a president. His flat forehead, small teeth, and beady little eyes will never be our leader, because he's dead and burning in the fiery pits of hell where he belongs, for this is good news, and no one mourns the wicked. You're welcome, I love ya.
I don't care about what you believe, but coming on social media to celebrate someone's death is not normal. But guys, I want to know what you think in the comment section. There are a lot of reaction on social media. I love dapping into what is happening in America because, like, I want to know how they understand things. And sometimes Americans and their opinions are so very like realistic and raw and so very blunt. That is one thing I have discovered about Americans. Like, they are so very blunt. They will say their mind no matter what happened. But again, I would just want you guys to be very mindful. I think this is so very sensitive, and this is the age of social media. Someone can actually track you, someone can track you down, someone can come and harm you because of what you post on social media. This is the reason why I say you should be very careful and very mindful. At the end of the day, there are two children that just lost their dad. I grew up without my dad. My dad died when I was 8 months old, and I know how traumatizing that is. Also, there's somebody mourning her husband, somebody mourning her son, somebody mourning his son. Please, guys, let us be mindful. I know that a lot of things that this man has said are so very controversial, like extremely controversial and dangerous to we black people or people in general. But again, guys, at the end of the day, be careful what you post on social media. Be careful. Like, I'm seeing a lot of videos on social media. I'm like, are you guys not scared of your life? Don't you say that Americans, everybody have gone? Please be careful.